Good afternoon and welcome to the declaration of results for the Hume City Council elections. I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land we're meeting on today and pay respect to their elders, past and present, and any other Aboriginal people here today. As the election manager of the Hume City Council elections, it is my duty today to declare the results of the elections held on the 26th of October 2024, except for the Jackson Hill ward, which is subject to a recount. The results for each ward will be read in alphabetical order of ward name. Aitken. In Aitken, there were 3 candidates standing for election, and a count was conducted by computer to determine the candidate elected to the one vacancy for Aitken, and I hereby declare Carly Moore as elected councillor for Aitken. I don't think she's attending, so I'm not going to ask her up to talk. Bababai Marning. In Bababai Marning, there were 6 candidates standing for election. A count was conducted by computer to determine the candidate elected to the one vacancy for Bababai Marning, and I hereby declare John Haddad as elected councillor for Bababai Marning, and I now call on John Haddad to address the meeting. He's not here, said he was coming. Nope. Okay, Bert Kermin. In Bert Kermin, there were 9 candidates standing for election. A count was conducted by computer to determine the candidate elected to the one vacancy for Bert Kermin, and I hereby declare Jim Overend as elected councillor for Bert Kermin. And if Jim Overend is here, he can address the meeting too. Nope. Okay. Emu Creek. In Emu Creek, there were 3 candidates standing for election. A count was conducted by computer to determine the candidate elected to the one vacancy for Emu Creek, and I hereby declare Kate Hamley as elected as councillor for Emu Creek, and I now call on Kate Hamley to address the meeting. And I know she's here because she's sitting at the front. You decline, okay. All right, thank you. Merlinston Creek. In Merlinston Creek, there were 9 candidates standing for election. An count was conducted by computer to determine the candidate elected to the one vacancy for Merlinston Creek, and I hereby declare Karen Sherry as elected councillor for Merlinston Creek, and I now call on Karen Sherry to address the meeting.
Oh, thank you, everybody. Yes, I'm quite emotional about this because this is the 3rd term that I've been elected consecutively, and I thank all the residents for their support and everyone who voted for me, and even the ones who didn't. I'm going to work hard and try and deliver on my promises and try and give everyone a fulfilling 4 years. And I'm looking forward to working with my fellow councillors-elect, that is Name, Sam, Jim, John, Carly, Ali, Kate, Steve and Daniel so far, and whoever wins in Emu Creek. I extend my heartfelt thanks to everyone who contributed to the campaign, letterboxing, yard signs and door knocking. And I just want to say to my opponents, look, it was a tough campaign and opponents make you better. They really do. You know, if you have a bit of competition, you get a bit sharper. So I thank everybody, particularly Bassima Hawley for her campaign, and better luck next time. And of course, my husband, Saga, and, you know, other people that assisted with graphic arts, digital work on Facebook and Instagram and printing. So looking forward to serving this community for the next 4 years. Thank you.
Okay. I'm sure you meant to say that you're looking forward to working with whoever was elected in Jackson Hill, not Emu Creek. John, you're here. Would you like to come and say something?
I would like to thank the the residents of the Bababi Marning ward for electing me in this my third attempt of the council elections. It's always been my ambition, since from my background, my home country is Assyria, as known as the cradle of civilization. With that in mind, I've always intended to make more improvements for the council, between the council as well as the residents. Not only improvement, work towards its advancements. My community, mostly in mid-70s, migrated to Europe with the intention, similar intention, to work towards the improvements, council services in that regard. And my ambitions is always this way. And even though we have used the global term in our council's locations, etc., my aim is to improve, to really show that we are in globally advanced. And according to my ability, I will try to do my best for both the council and the residents. And I really do thank everybody else, and so behind me, who've been supported me, my wife. Without her, there is a saying, behind every successful man, there is a woman, and vice versa as well. It works in a collective teamwork. And also, I would like to thank my second, I wouldn't say competitor, who became as a friend of mine, Mr. Asif Naim, who has worked hard, struggled, and so on. And he proved also to show that we are not competing, but rather we are in a friendship matter. And that's how I would like to see every councillor, regardless of our different opinions and so on, of different political background, etc. I'm not political, but I rather work for advancement of humanity. And I hope that I can improve in my future term in the council. Thank you.
Okay, in Mount Ridley, there were 7 candidates standing for election. The count was conducted by computer to determine the candidate elected to the 1 vacancy for Mount Ridley, and I hereby declare Daniel English as elected councillor for Mount Ridley. If he's here, I'd like to address the meeting. Nope. Roxburgh Park. In Roxburgh Park, there were 11 candidates standing for election, and the count was conducted by computer to determine the candidate elected to the 1 vacancy for Roxburgh Park. And I hereby declare Sam Michaud as elected councillor for Roxburgh Park. And I now call on Sam Michaud to address the meeting, if he wishes.
Good afternoon. Well, I am thrilled to be back for the 2nd term in council. My passion is growing bigger by the day. I made a promise that I walk every street of Roxburgh Park, and I did most of it. I was actually doing 26 to 27 kilometers per day. I got to know almost all the streets. I was going to take perhaps Uber Eats after work. Look, I like to thank the VEC for the organization, the management, everything. In particular, Simon, the first person I met when I actually went to put my nomination form. It was a great journey. The fight was fierce. 11 competitors. It made the fire keep on, growing by the day as well. Look, I'm glad. I look forward to working with every councillor in the chamber. It has never been about us, but it's about the community. If we put that motto at the front of our thoughts, I think we will always deliver great services for a great community we have. I'll save all my thanks and gratitude for all the people that have supported, helped, and had faith in me, and for me to try to actually level that confidence to the public meeting that we'll have on Monday. I won't take much of your time, but I'd like to say I'm glad that I'm back, and I'm sure that I'll do better than what I did in the last 4 years. Thank you very much.
In Tullamarine, there were 3 candidates standing for election. A count was conducted by computer to determine the candidate elected to the 1 vacancy for Tullamarine, and I hereby declare Naeem Kurt as elected councillor for Tullamarine. And now call on Naeem to address the meeting.
So good afternoon, everyone. My name's Naeem Kurt. It is such an honour and privilege to, I guess, once again be re-elected to this council. I wanted to give thanks first, of course, to the Victorian Electoral Commission and to yourself, Simon, for the way that you've conducted this election. I think sometimes, as a keen sports fan, I sometimes think about all of the sports leagues that I follow across the world, and not everyone is always happy with the referees and the umpires and the associations, but it probably sometimes feels like that a bit as well at the VEC, and it's a bit of a thankless task. But certainly my experience was that you guys have been exceptional in the work that you've done during this election. And I know when I've had scrutineers come in as well, they've been treated very well by yourselves as well. So all I can do is just say thanks to all of yourselves and for upholding democracy in this country and the way this election has been done. So thank you very much. Secondly, I'd like to thank as well my family who supported me through this election, and particularly my brother and my mum. I couldn't ask for a stronger campaign team than them. They really gave it all for the election, speaking to the community, door-knocking homes, getting material out as well, whilst I had sort of the dual roles of having to undertake the mayorship, but then also trying to get myself re-elected as well, and I couldn't have done it without my family. So thank you so much to them. I also want to thank all of the supporters as well who've backed me in this election. It's a long list of people to thank, but I couldn't have done it without them. Thirdly, I'd like to thank as well the council staff who are here as well and who've been running this organisation in the time whilst councillors have been away and undertaking the caretaker provisions. And so I wanted to acknowledge the executive management and the work that they've been undertaking during this period, and looking forward to getting back into the role again as a councillor, and looking forward to working again with our council colleagues and officers as well. And finally, I wanted to give thanks to the community at large who've given us their backing as well. This is now the 3rd election that I've been re-elected for, and every time that I've been elected now, it's the margins gotten larger. I think it was about 4,200 votes the first time I got elected, 5,400 the second time, and now almost 7,000 votes for us this time as well, which I think was the second highest of all candidates. And I've been blown away by the support that we've been offered this community, and I think on this day as well, on November 11th, on Remembrance Day, I think it's really important to acknowledge all of those who've fought for this country, and then also kept democracy in this country going, and the flame going for democracy as well. I think it's a really great thing that we've got here in this country, that we're able to conduct or have local government elections, that we're able to participate in elections as well. And one of the reasons why I actually got involved in politics at the start in 2016, it was actually when we'd been on a holiday to Europe, and coming back through Turkey and visiting family over there. We went through, there was a bit of a coup attempt and on democracy and government in that country at the time, and I remember my family saying to me just how lucky I am to live in Australia, and if I'm really interested in democracy, really interested in politics, to give it a go. And that's what I initially put my hand up to run in 2016. I was really pleased to get elected, and here I am now, another 2 elections later as well. And I think we should all hold that really dear to ourselves as well, the power of democracy and that thing that we've got going here in Australia as well. So it is a real privilege to be back. I want to acknowledge as well all of my colleagues who've been successfully re-elected, and now being the 3rd time that we've been elected. I guess we're now the old guard as well, with provisionally Councillor Sherry and also Councillor Moore, who will be councillors as well. So had you told me that 8 years ago that I'd be the old guard after 8 years in politics, I probably would have been quite surprised, but here we are as well. I also wanted to acknowledge some of our other colleagues who've been, I guess, unsuccessful this election. I also acknowledge Joseph Will, also Jack Medcraft as well, who both were unsuccessful this election as well. But looking forward to getting started again and for the years ahead. Thank you very much.
In Woodlands, there were 6 candidates standing for election. A count was conducted by computer to determine the candidate elected to the 1 vacancy for Woodlands, and I hereby declare Steve Gagan as elected councillor for Woodlands. I now call on Steve Gagan to address the meeting.
Thank you very much. I should like to echo Naim's point here about it is wonderful to live in a country where we can achieve change without revolution. Like Naim, I've been in places where when you have elections, people die, and it's not a very pleasant experience. But we manage to do things here, usually without bloodshed anyway, when we have council elections. I also like to join with others in thanking the VEC and Simon and the council staff for the very smooth and fair administration of these elections. I also, naturally enough, thank the voters of Woodlands Ward for having confidence in me in electing me. Thank you very much, voters. I should like to also thank everybody that helped me succeed in becoming, the other people who helped me succeed in becoming the councillor for Woodlands Ward. This long list includes friends and colleagues and the large numbers of people I spoke to going around the sporting clubs and community associations, talking to people in the street and so on. Thank you all for, you gave me ideas, you gave me thoughts, you gave me your support. Thank you for your support and for all your messages of encouragement. Your help was vital to my success. I undertake to work hard for the people of Woodlands and will be listening to your views into the future on how we can make that area an even better place to live and work and raise a family. I should like to congratulate my fellow councillors-elect, Daniel English, John Haddad, Kate Homley, Naim Kurt, Sam Michaud, Carly Moore, Jim Overend, Karen Sherry and Ali Watson, and possibly Jared Bell if he succeeds. We haven't got that finalised yet. I'm looking forward to working with you all to build together, to build a better and more inclusive and fairer city of Hume. I'd like to spare a thought, and Karen raised this point, for those candidates who campaigned but who didn't meet with success. It is very disappointing to work very hard to get nothing at the end of it. It's like people I know who've been in films, and it takes just as much effort to create a film that everybody says is terrible as it does to create a film that's as good. And it is just as much effort sometimes to try to get elected and not get elected. So my thanks are to Lalith, now I'm sorry if I mispronounce his name, Udugampahala, Khalid Hussain, Adam Atmaka, Asad Issa and Joseph Hawil for a fair fight, and all those who also stood in other wards and weren't successful. Let's think of those and their sadness now. Thank you very much, people.
Okay, in Yubup, there were 7 candidates standing for election. The count was conducted by computer to determine the candidate elected to the 1 vacancy for Yubup, and I hereby declare Ali Watson as elected councillor for Yubup. And I call on Ali Watson to address the meeting.
It's been absolutely wonderful to hear all of those beautiful comments, and I echo so many of them with thanks to the VEC for the way this campaign has been run. I couldn't start really though without thanking my community. The communities of Calcallo and Mickleham are a fierce growing community up in our north corner there, and it all started when we moved there about 6 years ago, and my first interactions with this council were in the Changemakers program, and I got to know quite a number of the community members, council staff, councillors during that time. It's been a wonderful experience campaigning and meeting so many people within our community and having conversations that I've had over the past 6 years to really understand what our community wants in Calcalo and Mickleham and Ewbot Ward. I'm very excited and very honoured to be the first councillor elected to the Ewbot Board. I'd like to thank my husband and my parents, who are both here today, to join this celebration, for their support throughout the campaign, but also throughout many of the journeys that I've taken in my life to get to this point, whether it be through my career, other activities, advocacy work that I've done throughout the years. I, like others, have had a team of support around me, friends, family, community members. Without them, this wouldn't have been possible to get through the process of a campaign. To my fellow candidates within the Ewbot Ward, we developed some great friendships, and we really developed a very keen understanding of our community together, and I wish them all the best in their future endeavours. To my fellow councillors, I cannot wait for the next 4 years and to see what we can achieve together. This is a thriving community. This is a growing city. We are key to Melbourne's north, and I cannot wait to see how we can take this even further in the future. Thank you so much.
This concludes the declaration for the Hume City Council elections. The results of the elections are available on the VC website. They're also on display on a table at the back for anybody who would like to see them. We've only got one copy, so please don't take them. And thank you for attending, and good luck to all of those who were elected. Thank you.